Coming up, record fines slapped on the world's biggest banks, JP Morgan and Citigroup among those settling foreign exchange manipulation charges. The stunning details of what they did and the pros weighing in on whether the fines went far enough to deter banks from misbehaving down the road. Meantime, record fines slapped on some of the world's biggest banks. That's to settle foreign exchange manipulation charges.
Currency traders at several multinational banks formed a group that they dubbed the cartel. It's perhaps fitting that they chose that name, as it aptly describes the brazenly illegal behavior that they were engaged in on a near 5-year basis. Almost every day, for more than 5 years, traders in this cartel used a private electronic chat room to manipulate the spot market's exchange rate between euros and dollars, using coded language to conceal their collusion.
With all these hefty fines and the unprecedented guilty pleas, prevent misconduct by banks in the future.
Joining us again is our resident law firm on such matters. And as a matter of fact, they disagree on this. We got attorneys Andrew Stoltmann and Mark LaPresti joining us. And Mark, you're of the opinion that these fines and the settlements they won't change anything in the scheme of things. Why not?
That's right, Bill. They won't change anything, and they haven't changed anything. And the reason is that we are lacking individual culpability. Once again, the shareholders are being asked to pay the tab. And what drives me crazy in this instance, it's no secret who the wrongdoers were. Why is that Barclays vice president not doing the perp walk? Why are the shareholders, why is Main Street being asked to pay for this conduct yet again? It makes no sense.
Andrew, should they be?
Yeah, they should be. I mean, look, we have serial violators of the federal securities laws. I mean, we have companies that have engaged in money laundering activities, LIBOR manipulation, really, really serious stuff. So this is a good first step. The problem is it hasn't gone far enough. More people need to be, not just the banks, but the individuals who engaged in this activity need to be indicted, because we know indictments work. Remember what happened after Sarbanes-Oxley was passed, and you had Bernie Ebbers, you had Dennis Kozlowski, and all these guys indicted for activity like that. White-collar criminals are very rational, and if they know there's a real chance they might go to prison, guess what? They won't engage in that activity. That's
so
what needs to be done.
Why don't they? Why don't they, Mark? Why aren't there ever any perp walks when it's an institutional settlement of some kind? The individuals don't end up paying themselves.
It's hard for me to explain, Bill, and to add insult to injury, because these banks are considered to be so relevant to the overall economy, they're actually getting, as Eamon pointed out a moment ago, a waiver. Small businesses in Wall Street and finance, small brokerage houses and asset management firms, if they had this type of a prosecution, they would be out of business. They would be what's called statutorily disqualified. They would be done. But the big banks...
a stockbroker would be done. A stockbroker would be done. If they pled guilty to a felony, they're done. But yet these banks get to do it. There's the old saying that the people will go back in the water when they know the shark is dead. Well, right now the shark has a harpoon on its side, but it's not dead. And if you want to talk about restoring investor confidence in the stock market, you got to indict these guys. Otherwise, there will never be retail investors flooding back into the markets.
You know what, Andrew? I don't know that retail even notices these things, because unfortunately retail doesn't realize that they own the damn stocks through their pension funds. And I know this is unusual that Andrew and I are agreeing on something here, so make note of that, Bill and Kelly.
But guys, remember, there's a perception that the markets are rigged. There's a perception that the markets are rigged. They may not be able to articulate it, but there's something rotten in the state of Denmark, and these people know it, and that's why they're running for the equities markets, and that's one of the reasons why we have this retirement crisis in our country.
All right. We got to go at this point, guys. Thank you. We'll leave it there with you guys agreeing, oddly enough.